This helpless father was about to jump into the river and end his life, but just then his eyes fell on a poster. It read, "Don't kill yourself. We'll help you get revenge." Skeptical but desperate, he called the number. Moments later, a taxi stopped in front of him. The driver's name was Dodge, a member of a revenge team. They fought with violence, but only to bring justice for the helpless. But before anything, truth had to be uncovered. Dodge turned on a recorder and said, "Tell me your story." 10 years ago, his wife had passed away. Since then, he was raising his son alone. He thought selling fried chicken would be enough to survive. But as his son grew older, his school fees kept rising. One day, the landlord came demanding rent. That's when the son realized how bad things really were. To reduce the burden on his mother, he lied. He told her he had been selected for an exchange student program, where fees and living costs would be completely covered. The mother was suspicious, but seeing his joy, she said nothing. The boy left home smiling. He didn't know this would become the biggest mistake of his life. At first, the father noticed nothing unusual. But one day, the landlord said the rent had already been paid. That's when the father became suspicious. He tried calling his son. No answer. He met one of his son's classmates, and the truth came out. There was no exchange program. His son had dropped out of school. The return tuition money had been used to pay the rent. The father rushed home and searched through drawers. He found a contract with the name of a Vietnamese company on it. Without hesitation, he flew to Vietnam. But what he didn't know was that his son had fallen into a human trafficking trap. They had promised he'd build gambling software. Knew his son was in danger. He went to the police, but they said, "Your son is over 18. It's just a runaway case." After insisting, they contacted the Vietnamese embassy. But the response shattered his heart. The embassy said the boy had run away due to domestic violence. The traffickers had already planted this lie. Now, there was no hope left. The father went alone to Vietnam again, plastering missing posters and his son's photo everywhere. He spent all his money and finally returned home empty-handed. At home, he found a letter from his son. He thought his son had returned, but when he opened it, his heart broke. It read, "Sorry, Dad. I'll return to you in the next life." It was clear the son had taken his own life. But in that same letter, something was hidden. Dodge noticed a line written in Morse code. "Please help me." That changed everything. The boy wasn't dead. He was calling for rescue. Dodge sent the father to a photo booth. After hacking the system, 2 buttons appeared. Green button equals begin revenge, pay later. Red button equals decline. Without hesitation, the father pressed the green button.